1.
You will hear a man talking to a woman who works in a rental agency. Take 30 seconds to look at questions 1 to 4. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 4.
Good morning, Lakeside Rentals. How may I help you?
Yes, thank you. I am interested in renting a cottage by the lake this summer.
Wonderful. Let's start by taking down your information. May I have your name, please?
Gregory Thornton.
And what is your mailing address, Mr. Thornton?
That would be Box 7, Hartford, Connecticut.
Box 7. Was that Hartford or Heartland?
Hartford. Hartford.
Ford. Wonderful. All right then, Mr. Thornton. What is the size of your group?
Pardon me?
I mean, how many people in your party? How many people will be staying in the cottage with you?
Oh, right. Just my family. My wife and our 2 sons and myself. So that's 4 people altogether.
Perfect. We have a number of cottages suited for a small group. Now then, when did you want to begin your stay?
We'd like to get there on July 10th, if that's possible. I mean, it's possible for us, of course, but if you have any vacancies then.
Oh, certainly we do. Our busy season really doesn't begin until August 1st.
That's good to hear. We were hoping to stay for a couple of weeks.
Fine. That'll give you plenty of time to enjoy the area. So I'll put you down for 2 weeks.
Yes, I really wish it could be 3, but we have to get back to work before the end of the month.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, take 30 seconds to look at questions 5 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 5 to 10.
I understand. Let's talk about the cottages we have available. Do you want a 2 or a 3-bedroom?
Either one would be fine.
Well then, Pine Cottage is lovely. It has 2 bedrooms and features a porch off the living room, so you can enjoy sitting outside.
Oh, that sounds nice. What's the rental fee?
It's a small cottage, so it's just $700 a week. Our other 2-bedroom is Maple Cottage. It doesn't have a porch, but it does have a large window in the living room with a spectacular view of the lake. It's a bit larger than Pine, plus it has the view, so it goes for $850 a week.
What about a 3-bedroom cottage?
Hemlock Cottage has 3 bedrooms. Are you interested in cooking?
Not while we're on vacation. We weren't looking for a place with a kitchen.
Well then, I suppose the fact that Hemlock has one wouldn't matter to you. And it is our most expensive rental at $925 a week.
So you do have a cheaper 3-bedroom?
Yes, there's Spruce Cottage. Actually, it has an extra small room downstairs, so we call it a 4-bedroom. It goes for $900 a week.
Does it have a view?
No, but it does have a nice little garden in the back.
I'll need some time to think this over. What activities are available at the lake?
We rent both water skis and canoes.
I definitely want to do some paddling.
There's also horseback riding lessons. And we have tennis courts where you can play on your own, and you can also sign up for lessons there.
I haven't been able to pick up a tennis racket since I hurt my elbow last summer.
I'm sorry to hear that. You might want to think about joining some of our guided hikes. There's one every day.
Sounds great. My wife and I will both enjoy that.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2.
Part 2.
You will hear a guide welcoming visitors to the city zoo. First, you have 30 seconds to look at questions 11 to 17. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 17.
Good morning and welcome to the City Zoo. We are excited to have all you teachers here with us today to learn about the zoo and the programs we offer to school children. And we hope that all of you will plan to bring your classes to visit us during this school year. We're open almost every day of the year, including holidays, with the exception of the last week of the year. We close for that entire week. Other than that, you can plan to bring your classes for a visit any day you like, any time between opening at 8 to closing at 5. We try to keep our entrance fees as low as possible, and school groups get a discount of 15% when you bring a group of at least 10 children. You may also want to take advantage of our free days. We don't charge any entrance fee on the first Monday of each month. Let's start with a look at a zoo map so you can get an idea of what's available. Here in the lower left-hand corner is the main entrance. Across the pathway to the east of the entrance is the education building, where we are sitting right now. Here in the northwest corner is the picnic area, which is a good place for you to plan to have lunch with your class. To the right of it is the cafeteria. Lunch, of course, is available there too, but most teachers, I find, prefer to have their students bring their own lunches. The picnic area also looks out over the small lake, just to the south of it, which is in the area where our water birds are. So it's a pretty spot. Just to the south of the water birds is the small mammal house, which most children enjoy visiting. If you'd rather see some large mammals, the elephant house is located across the pathway to the west of the small mammal house. Just north of the elephants, you can visit lizards, crocodiles, and turtles in the reptile house.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, take 30 seconds to look at questions 18 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 18 to 20.
Okay, let's talk about our education programs. At this time, we are set up to serve children from ages 6 to 10. We hope to have something in place for older children by next winter, for the 12 and 13-year-olds, and I can talk a bit about our plans for that a little later. For high school students, up to age 18, we have some plans for them in the works too. Unfortunately, we have nothing for preschool kids, the 4 and 5-year-old set at this time. So, for the primary school kids, we have several programs you can choose from. Animals Up Close is a popular one. Kids get a chance to get close to actual zoo animals. While we can't allow the kids to actually pet the animals, they can help with the feeding. And we talk about animal care, keeping the animals clean and healthy, and we give a grooming demonstration. For this, and all our programs, we provide teachers with reading materials to share with the class before the visit. You can also use them as a resource if you plan to test your class on what they learned during the visit. All our programs last 1 hour, and we do expect you to stay with your class during that entire time.
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 3.
Part 3.
You will hear two students discussing their university course schedule. First, you have 30 seconds to look at questions 21 to 26. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Hi, Samantha. I didn't see you in biology class today.
I had to drop it. My schedule is already so heavy. I decided to leave it for next semester.
Yeah, I hear that anthropology class you're in is really tough.
It sure is. but it's really interesting too. Now, my economics class, that's another story.
I thought you were in that class last semester.
I wish I had been, but I have to take it now because it's a prerequisite for the political science class I want to enrol in next semester.
American history is a prerequisite for that class too, isn't it?
Yeah, but I've already studied that, which is a good thing because I don't have any more room in my schedule. I have a ton of homework. I have to read 2 novels this week for my literature class on top of everything else.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, take 30 seconds to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
Wow, Samantha, you do have a busy schedule. But at least you're living closer to campus this semester, aren't you? That should save you some time.
Yeah, my apartment is just a few blocks away. I can walk to class in 5 or 10 minutes.
Sure beats those long bus rides.
Uh-huh. I really didn't like it when I was living so far from campus. Oh, I meant to tell you, they hired me at the college bookstore.
That's great. That's got to be better than that boring cafeteria job you were going to take.
I'm glad I don't have to work there. It sure would be nice to have an office job, though.
Maybe next semester.
Yeah, I'm actually happy to have such an easy job because this really is a tough semester for me with all these heavy classes I'm taking.
Between work and class, I guess you don't have a lot of time for fun, do you?
Fun? What's that?
You're so funny. Well, there's always summer vacation to look forward to. You can have your fun then.
I wish. My job lasts until the end of the summer. And I need the money, so I've got to stay at it.
I'll think of you while I'm travelling to the beach.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 4.
Part 4.
You will hear a lecture describing the difference between 2 marine animals. First, you have 30 seconds to look at questions 31 to 35. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 35.
Today, I'm going to talk about a couple of commonly confused marine mammals, dolphins and porpoises. Aren't they the same animal, you may ask? Many people think they are, and they are very similar to each other, but they are different. Along with their cousins, the whales, dolphins and porpoises make up the order Cetacea. They are all closely related, and the basic way to distinguish between whales on the one hand and dolphins and porpoises on the other is size, as whales are much larger than dolphins and porpoises. Additionally, those that are classified as true whales have baleen rather than teeth, which allows them to filter their food out of the water. All dolphins and porpoises, on the other hand, have teeth, and of course eat a different type of diet. The killer whale, also called orca, is not really a whale despite its name, but is the largest dolphin. Not a porpoise, but a dolphin. So, what's the difference? It basically comes down to size and shape. Although some species of dolphins are on the small side, they generally tend to be larger than porpoises. They can reach up to 12 feet or longer in size, while porpoises are under 7 feet in length. You can also determine the difference by looking at the shape of several distinguishing features. For example, the shape of the snout on each animal is quite different. A dolphin's snout, also called its beak, is pointed, while a porpoise's is blunt. So that's one difference.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, take 30 seconds to look at questions 36 to 40. Now listen and answer questions 36 to 40.
The form of the teeth is another way to tell the difference. Those of the dolphin are pointed like cones, while those of the porpoise are flat and wide like spades. And then there is the dorsal fin, often the most prominent feature when you see a group of dolphins jumping through the water. On the dolphin, this has a curved edge, while that of the porpoise is straight-edged, like a triangle. Okay then, in addition to being larger in size, dolphins are also larger in number. While there are something over 30 species of dolphins that we know of, including both freshwater and ocean species, the number of porpoise species is far less, adding up to just 6. We might even consider dolphins to be more talented than porpoises, or at least more chatty. Dolphins communicate with each other by making whistling sounds underwater. Researchers believe that porpoises don't do this. Nevertheless, both dolphins and porpoises are highly intelligent creatures.
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.